So the first thing I want to demonstrate is how to use Jamovi to analyze data for one population mean. So you have your data on your own spreadsheet. Just make sure it's formatted this way. Select all the data, copy it. Then open up Jamovi and paste the data in the empty column there. So if you click on the name of the variable, you can change it to whatever name you want. I'm calling it response. Just make sure it's continuous, like what I've done in the video. Then you go to one sample t-test. Choose the response as a dependent variable, and you can see the display, the result on the right side already has the t-statistic calculated for you and the p-value. You can change the hypotheses that you want to test in terms of the alternative. And you can get some descriptive statistics as well and a plot of the data. You can do a normality test, and you can also look at the normal quantile plot. Next, we'll look at how to use Jamovi to analyze data in a two-mean scenario. Have your data in a spreadsheet of this form. Now there's one variable for the independent variable and one for the data itself. So copy it. Open up Jamovi and paste it in Jamovi. As usual, you can name the columns. So this would be the independent variable's name. This will be the name of the response. And just make sure that the type of variable is continuous. Now choose under t-tests the two sample t-test or independent sample t-test. Choose the response as a dependent variable and then click on the independent variable as well, or grouping variable it's called. And you can already see the t-test statistic is there with the p-value. The default is a two-sided alternative. You can change to other one-sided tests, and you can get descriptive statistics and plots for the data as well. You can do a homogeneity test. This just looks at whether the assumption of equal variance for the two groups is okay. There's a normality test for the data, and you can also get the normal quantile plot. Right here, so I'm just demonstrating that, as I mentioned earlier, you can change the form of the alternative hypothesis to be one-sided, and you can choose the direction as well. And you can see the changes happening in the results on the right screen. Next, we'll look at how to use Jamovi to analyze data in an ANOVA context. So again, you have your data with your independent and dependent variables on your spreadsheet. Select it, copy it. Then go paste it in Jamovi. As usual, you can change the names of the variables by clicking on the variable name. Here in my example, the independent variable is the program. change the name of the response to whatever it is, and just make sure that it is of a type that's continuous. Now click on ANOVA and choose ANOVA. Move the response variable into the dependent variable box, and then the other one for the fixed factor would be the independent variable. And you can see the ANOVA table has been generated. If you click on assumption checks, you can do the same things like what we've seen earlier, the homogeneity test for equality of variance, normality test, and the quantile plot can be displayed as well. You can get means for the different groups by sliding in the independent variable, and you can get plots for them. And get tables of descriptive statistics. Next, we'll look at using Jamovi to fit a simple linear regression model. Now you have two quantitative variables on your spreadsheet. Select the data, copy it, and then paste it in Jamovi. As usual, you can change the name of the variables. I'm calling it variable 1. Make sure it's a continuous type. And I'm changing this one to variable 2. Also make sure it's continuous. Now click on regression. Choose linear regression. Move var1 into the covariate slot and var2 into the dependent variable. This assumes variable 2 is your dependent variable. And you can see the ANOVA table for the simple linear regression model has been displayed. Once again, you can do some assumption checks. You can check for the assumption of normality. You can look at the quantile plot of the residuals. And you can look at the residual plot as well. Next, we'll look at how to do a chi-square test of independence of column and row variables. So your data are usually formatted in this way. Make sure that it is reformatted the way I've done it on my spreadsheet. Copy and paste onto Jamovi. These are the counts, and so I'm renaming the variable that way. Again, make sure it's continuous. This is your row variable. And this was your column variable. Then go to frequencies and choose independent samples chi-square test of association. Move counts into the counts field. The row variable goes into rows and the column variable goes into columns. And you can see the chi-square test for association has been performed. You can get a few plots of the data. If you check bar plot, you get exactly what it says, which is a bar plot of the data. You can change it to percentages instead of counts. You can flip the axes of the row and column variables. You have the option of getting a stacked bar plot if you want by clicking on that button.